Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV. We are here at 9th Cloud Expo, Silicon Valley. We're in Santa Clara, California. As is Michael Jackson, President of Adaptive Computing. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
Adaptive's all about management. Oh my goodness, you have picked such a great row to hoe. Everybody's trying to manage these clouds. What stage are we at, Michael? Is it a solved problem yet?
Certainly not. I think most people are spending their time just trying to provision, just trying to do a little bit of charging out there, and then it kind of goes into a black hole, and thus that creates a lot of that opportunity. A lot of our strength and background comes from other industries that already had this problem over a decade ago, large shared computing environments in the technical world. We solve those problems for them. Now as it begins to come to the data center, we've got 10 years of that capability behind us ready to deliver to this market.
Do you ever have any trouble with leveraging a 10-year history on a 3-year-old industry? Do people do a disconnect?
Well, as I was mentioning, it was actually experience we gained out of another market, which was in the technical computing space, where they had large shared computing systems, substantial in scale, and they had to share it with many different departments. They had to figure out, how do I share it between multiple sites and locations? And so we had to deal with making it real for them, and we were really found to be the innovation leader within that space. And so taking that experience of management, it applies perfectly across the cloud space. And
what is the key differentiator, Mike? I mean, there's a lot of people saying, we'll help you manage. Yeah. What is Adaptive's particular niche on that, their take on that?
I would say it has to do with self-optimization. So when we look at the class of management that people are employing to try to manage cloud, there's two principal classes. One, which I'd call workflow-based, where they're trying to manage, if this happens, then take course left or right. And we created a patented multi-dimensional decision engine that is able to bring in two unique things here. One, it's able to bring in multiple sources of information, which may not be unique, but it's also able to model the future. So it is actually modeling out in time and space what would happen if I gave this guarantee. What are the commitments for maintenance out into the future? Because you cannot deliver an SLA unless you have purview into how things are going to change. It's kind of like playing Tetris with a view of what's coming down the pipeline. You can get it packed tighter, you can get more efficiency out of that.
And have you discovered, do you have to inculcate a thirst for that kind of insight into people, or are they already saying, oh boy, I have been wanting this forever, thank you, Adaptive?
Well, the first set of users, they're just trying to solve the problem of, let me provision in 30 minutes instead of 6 weeks, and let me get into the business model. Those that are going from their initial case into the next say, whoa, I have all kinds of VM migration problems, and they're finding that their real-world problems aren't being solved. So they're able to do the spirit of the direction, but they really need our class of technology to match to the business processes that are real within their organizations. All of those little caveats of, this is how I need it to work, this is how I need it to work, others aren't able to deliver. Because we have that 10 years from another market able to apply to it, we can deliver that today.
And I'm imagining one of the advantages for Adaptive is, this is vertical neutral. Presumably, if I'm going in the cloud, I can just talk with it. It's not a question of, you're really good at healthcare clouds or federal clouds. You can help everyone.
That's exactly right, partly because there are differences between the workloads that you find in each of the verticals, but they have certain attributes that are the same. So we find that in certain organizations, they'll have a lot of acquisitions of different businesses. So therefore, the problem they're trying to solve is heterogeneity. And so instead of being locked into just VMware, we're able to handle something that's with VMware, with Hyper-V, with KVM, and physical. And we help solve organizational level problems where I think a lot of other organizations are coming in and only solving tactical, single system, single use case problems.
When I listen to you talk, Mike, I hope you don't mind my saying this, it baffles me that, say, the Gartners of the world think that cloud computing is teetering on the top of, the crest and about to head down the trough. What I'm hearing from you is something that really is just getting going. Is that your sense too? Do you think that all these commentators are just way wide of the mark?
Well, there are different evolutions of this. So is wave one, which is really just instantiation, again, that quick rapid provisioning, is that maturing? Yes, it is, but if you go to Gartner, you'll actually see they'll show the combination of what they call real-time infrastructure and cloud converging. That convergence is actually where you begin to get nirvana. Without that convergence, you are really going to run into VM sprawl. You're going to run in, for example, I'll just give an example, is we've had customers that had Gen 1 Cloud, which was just that static deployment, and then they turned on our policies, and they got 2 to 3 times greater packing of their workloads into that space. So that was a substantial improvement, but they didn't realize it until they began to run into those problems. So yes, it is on us to educate the market to help them understand the problems that they're going to have. And you don't have to just get phase 1 cloud. You can actually get automatic in your car instead of just a manual car from the get-go and just make your life easier. And that's what we want to communicate to the world. Interesting.
Well, you're doing exactly that through an interview like this. What about through your website? What are people going to find at adaptive.com, right?
Adaptivecomputing.com.
Adaptivecomputing.com. Important to get in the computing. What will they see there? Where should they go if they're curious? Because this is a great approach.
What they will find is certainly an invitation from us that for those that already have cloud, well, we're going to be able to show how we can add to an HP cloud or an IBM cloud or a Cisco or a VMware cloud, and how we can help them achieve that greater utilization, that greater self-optimization. If they haven't got started, then we'll be able to show them both through demos as well as through our partners full cloud offerings that they can use within their environment. And it's really an invitation to contact us and let us show it to you, because there's a lot of buzz out there, a lot of people with similarities on websites, but when you get down to the real-world use, that's where our advantage of the 10-plus years of actually doing this in other spaces and it coming into the cloud space is a really good fit.
All right, so if you're really using the cloud, hook up right now with Adaptive Computing at adaptivecomputing.com. And thank you, Michael Jackson, for joining us here from Adaptive at 9th Cloud Expo, and thank you out there for following this on the World Wide Web.